Every single person who has ever lived arrived the same way. And for humans, that arrival is unusually dangerous. The reason is sitting on your shoulders. Human birth is harder than almost any other animal's, not because we are weak, because two of our best features are in direct conflict. So how did people manage it for 200,000 years, with no hospitals, no doctors, and no idea what a germ was? The problem starts when we stood up. Walking upright reshaped the pelvis, narrowing the opening. Good for walking, bad for everything trying to pass through. Then our brains grew, massively. A human skull is enormous compared to a chimpanzee's, so the exit shrank while the passenger doubled in size. Scientists call this the obstetrical dilemma. The theory is debated, but the outcome is not. Human birth is tight, slow, and genuinely risky. Evolution's compromise was to send babies out early. A newborn human is helpless for a year. A newborn horse runs on the same day. And there is one more difference. A chimpanzee gives birth alone and can guide the baby out herself. A human usually cannot. Human babies rotate on the way out and typically emerge facing away from the mother. She cannot easily see or reach what she is doing. So we needed each other. Anthropologists call it obligate midwifery. Birth became something done with help, possibly the oldest job humans have. Older than farming, older than writing, older than cities. Long before anyone built a temple, somebody was already holding somebody's hand. We cannot dig up a prehistoric midwife.
Find anything yet?
Skills leave no fossils. But every early society we can actually read about already had them. Now, position. Almost nobody in the ancient world gave birth lying flat on their back. That is a recent idea, and not a very good one. Women squatted, knelt, stood, or sat. They held ropes hung from beams. They gripped a post. They leaned on another woman standing behind them. Gravity helps. Upright positions open the pelvis wider. Ancient people did not know the anatomy. They knew what worked, and they kept doing it. In Egypt, women crouched on a pair of low bricks or stones. One Egyptian hieroglyph shows a woman in exactly that position, and it means to give birth. Archaeologists found one of those bricks at Abydos, roughly 3,700 years old. Painted on it, a mother, a child, and protective figures. That brick was not just furniture, it was a goddess, Meshchenet, believed to be present at every birth and to decide the child's fate. Egypt had a whole protective staff, Taweret, a goddess shaped like a pregnant hippopotamus, standing upright, holding a knife, not decorative, a bodyguard, and Bes, a short, wide, grinning dwarf god, believed to dance and shout to frighten away anything that threatened the mother and the child. Households kept ivory wands carved with these figures. You drew a protective circle on the floor around the mother. Magic, yes. Also a boundary nobody crossed. Egypt also produced the oldest known medical text about women's health, the Kahun Papyrus, roughly 3,800 years old. Some of it is practical. Some of it is prescriptions we would now consider useless. That mixture is basically all of ancient medicine. Greece and Rome went further because one man actually wrote the manual. Soranus of Ephesus, around 1900 years ago. His book on gynecology is startling, calm, observational, and largely free of magic. He describes the birthing stool in careful, practical detail.
First,
a wooden chair with a crescent-shaped opening cut into the seat. The mother sits. The midwife works in front. Helpers support her from behind. Soranus also listed what makes a good midwife. Literate, calm, sober, not superstitious. Strong hands and short fingernails. Think about that last one. 1900 years ago, someone had worked out that what is under your fingernails matters. Then the knowledge was lost again. Everywhere else, magic filled the gaps. Roman women called on Juno Lucina, Greek women on Artemis and Eileithyia. Every culture had a name to shout. Amulets, knots, and charms were everywhere. In many places, Every knot in the house was untied, and every door and window opened. Sympathetic magic. It sounds absurd, but consider what it actually did. It gave a terrified room something to do, together, instead of standing still and waiting, because the danger was real. Estimates vary a lot, but the risk of death per birth in pre-modern societies was likely somewhere around 1 to 2%, and women gave birth many times. Repeat that risk enough, and it stops being rare. Most families knew somebody it had happened to. So birth was sacred in every culture, without exception, not because it was beautiful, because everyone in the room knew exactly what could go wrong. The cord was cut with flint, obsidian, or a sharpened reed. The afterbirth was often buried, sometimes under a tree planted for the child. 200,000 years of this survived mostly because other people showed up. But once the baby arrived, a new problem began, keeping it alive.